day, everyone. Hi, my name is Keisha Bailey, and I'm here with my girlfriend April Bailey. And the name of our show and our segment is going to be Let's Talk About It. And we're going to be talking about things that's going on in the community and just kicking it, just two sisters kicking it. Hey, April, how you doing tonight, darling?
I'm doing good, Key. How you doing, love?
I'm doing good. Let's just give our audience a little bit of background on a little bit of history on our relationship. Me and April have been friends for over 50 years. 50 years. We have been friends for such a very long time. We had lost contact a little bit here, a little bit there, but thanks to Facebook, we reconnected and we've been together ever since then. Um, we want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. And I'm going to start off with the what's going on with this COVID thing and how is it with living with COVID, like COVID being the norm, the mask and the no mask. And if they say tomorrow don't wear a mask, April, would you ever take your mask off again in the public?
No, I wouldn't take my mask off. And as you know, you and I have talked about, I'm used to wearing a burqa and a mask, so a mask is not foreign to me.
Exactly, exactly. My thing is, I don't have a problem. My thing is, due to all of the situations that we've been through with this COVID pandemic, I don't think I would ever take my mask off again, not in the public. I've gotten comfortable with it. Thank God I can breathe with it. Thank God, because a lot of people have asthma issues and respiratory diseases or whatever, and they can't wear a mask. I have a 2-year-old, and I'm concerned about him not wearing a mask, and he's of autism spectrum, so it's a little hard training him to wear a mask. But between myself at home and his ABA, he's training to wear a mask. Um, I feel like the masks do help with the COVID situation, but we're going to go into the vaccination. And I'm vaccinated. April, are you vaccinated?
You know, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about vaccinations because people have a real strong feeling about being vaccinated. But
Okay.
no, I'm not vaccinated and I'm battling, whether to do it or not, but I haven't done it yet because I'm not quite sold on the vaccination and it really working because we're seeing so many breakthroughs where people are getting COVID that are boosted, they're dying. So, yeah, I'm very disgruntled about getting vaccinated, but I'm getting there.
Okay. Well, I'm vaccinated. At first, I was a little skeptical about it when the vaccination first came out. Wasn't FDA approved, and wasn't really no good pinpoint side effects, whatever. But I did get the vaccination, one because of my age, and two because I I go up and down with my blood pressure with hypertension. So I said, let me just do this, and thank God I didn't have any side effects, and thank God I'm okay, and it worked for me. It worked for me. I have another girlfriend that refused to have gotten the vaccination because it was FDA approved or whatever. Now it is. So now she feels like she's waiting to take because she feels like the country is forcing her or the government is forcing her to take the vaccination. So with that being said, it's like a lot of restrictions where she can't go here, can't go there. She's consistently getting COVID tested. I think that's annoying and to prove a point, but to each his own. How do you feel about?
I really didn't.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, yeah, I didn't really mind being tested every week at work. I didn't mind. And now my heart is changing a little bit because now that they're talking about giving it to little kids, I'm feeling in my heart, nobody's trying to kill off kids. You know what I mean? I really felt in the beginning that this was a genocide against our people.
okay,
We have talked about this a little bit already where the planes were in the sky, they were spraying stuff. It
right,
was just weird when everything started happening.
right,
But
right.
now, when you start talking about, like trying to find the vaccinations for the young kids, like 5 and under, then my heart is starting to feel a little bit different because I feel like just a little bit, I'm not 100% there,
Right.
but that who could be that wicked and evil to vaccinate children and kill them off, right? But
Exactly.
then so many of us have died. So many adults have died from COVID. So it's
Exactly.
just really a catch-22 for us, really.
Exactly. A lot of people say, "Oh, I know my cousin was vaccinated and she still got COVID and this and this and that and that." And I said, "Well, nothing is 99. Nothing is 100%. effective. Like birth control pills, like you can they take you know, and people still got pregnant. They're not 100, you know. But I feel like the thing is, if you are vaccinated and you do contract the virus, I believe that you are more safer. Your symptoms won't be as bad, and I think you're a little bit more maintained if you do get it, if you do catch it while you're vaccinated, if that's the scenario.
Mm, I feel, a little iffy about that. Why? Because my daughter-in-law,
Uh-huh.
she had COVID, right?
Right.
She beat COVID, and she got vaccinated. I went to her house, and my new grand was just born, so I was sharing that with her up close. Right, this is the closest I had been next to anyone without a mask.
Wow.
And after that, I got COVID. But I thank a God that I didn't have a severe case of COVID, but I was sick. I had chills, I had fever, I had the headaches, but I
Wow.
didn't have the breathing. And I thank God, because I could have had breathing. We're at that age now. So,
Exactly.
but she had COVID again once she got it, and we all got sick. My grandkids, me.
Wow. Well,
So that's why my mind is like that.
well, everyone's okay now. Am I correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's like,
For
they went
that.
through it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad everyone is okay. I'm so happy for that. Well, with this country now, I mean, it's like when the pandemic first struck, I felt like I was in a third world country. But with this, well, now that we're getting a little bit more educated on the virus, um, it's a little, I mean, at least we opened back up. At least the country opened back up. So that's a starter. But since we're a little bit more educated on the virus, I'm just hoping, that it'll die, get out. Like, God, please send it away. But education and being educated on things that happen, I think is the most important thing. I think washing your hands, and then people think if you wear gloves, it's okay, but not if you're doing it wearing one pair of gloves to do a whole bunch of tasks. No, after one thing, take your gloves off, another, wash your hands. And I don't care if you're wearing gloves, still continuously wash those hands. Put your gel, your hand sanitizer. I have one attached to my pocketbook or whatever, but it's just a new thing. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Anything else you want to say about the COVID pandemic?
Yeah, what you were saying about the gloves, girl. I don't believe in the gloves either, because you're taking the gloves, you're touching everything with the gloves, you're touching your face with the gloves. It's better with your hands, because at least with the hands, every time you do something, you can take your hands and you can wash your hands with the hand sanitizer. But when you taking the gloves and putting them everywhere, you can't take the sanitizer and keep on washing your hands. So I think that the gloves are silly too.
Okay, but you know what I was saying basically, like, say for instance, um, you go, you get out your car, you put your gloves on, you go into the supermarket, you open the door with your gloves on. Once you get inside the supermarket, I guess you take the gloves off, use the hand sanitizer, and then go on with your day. I don't know, but I mean, I do it. Let me say, I'm more consistent with the hand sanitizer and the hand thing, because the glove thing, I'd be like, oh my God, I forget. So the match between the mask and the gloves, I'm not just gonna go crazy. So I'm with you on that. Just do the hand sanitizer
Yeah,
one.
this it's cross contaminating, to be honest, because what you're
That's
doing is
true.
contaminating everything else that you're touching.
And that's
Once you
so
take that glove and you touch something else, now you've contaminated that other area. So I'm not sold on the gloves at all. No.
And that is so true. And that is so true. Okay, moving right along. This Whoopi Goldberg thing. That's a very
Lord.
subject or whatever. But I do want to say, uh, when you're a person of television, I'm a little shocked, because when you're a person of television and you're educated, and it's been so long that you would, I'm not, I'm trying to understand where she was coming from, but that you would make a statement like that. You don't think that was a little kind of, with her?
No, I don't, because I feel like Whoopi's pretty good person, right? And she's been in the game for a long time. And I feel like it's one of those things where let's take it down a few pegs day. It was let's take her down a few pegs day, because she only said about humanity and race, what happened to that humanity. And then she profoundly, with all her heart, said sorry about it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that
Right.
was enough. And when other people do that, it's okay. but it's not okay for her. So I feel like it's just kind of like a Negro stay in your place type of thing. And may Allah forgive me because I don't want to put race into things all the time,
Right.
but that's just what I picked up from it. She was so sincerely, she apologized, and that ain't like Whoopi, because you know with Whoopi, you can take a walk, she don't care. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right. I felt, well, she was apologetic and it did sound sincere. Um, but as her being I know people say, oh, ratings and it's a show and this is your job and this is what you do. But I still feel like you have to pick and choose your words because things like that are very sensitive. As far as us with the slavery, whatever the case may be, race goes a long way. Race goes with religion. Racism goes with you understand what I'm saying? Race goes a long way. It's not about what color you are. It's about your ethnicity, if I make sense. I don't, like one is this national, one is that, it still was a horrible, horrible thing. And race played a huge part in it, a huge part in it. And I don't see how she didn't understand that. She apologized. We're just analyzing it. We're just talking about it, going over it. I'm not saying nothing that, I just don't get how she didn't understand the race part of the situation at all.
I find, I find with the Jews, and because I know the rhetoric of being a Muslim and the Jews, we have a lot of rhetoric between us, right? Between our religions and between our race.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people walk on eggshells around them.
Right.
But they have done a lot of evil too. And I feel like with them being people who know about the Holocaust and such evil doings, they support different things as well. Forget a statement. They supported a whole, hi Jordan, they supported a whole wipeout of Muslims in Palestine. So it's really big when we talk about this race thing. Race is really big. And we've discussed in the past, I think it's all about humanity. We have to want to be good humanists and really have space and love for one another and care for one another. And the only how to do that is to be connected to your creator.
Amen.
So he purifies you, because the purified heart can oversee all evil. That's just what I feel.
Amen. And those are just facts. That is so true. But I just want to say, I understand where the animosity, but it all came in because as of being 300, 100 years of slavery, whatever the case, and the way we were slaughtered and tortured and strange fruit and this, that, and the third, you really got to be very careful how you choose your words when you're touching crucial subjects like that. You really have to be careful how you choose your words and how that's why I don't, if I was like a big television or whatever case, I would be very, very careful how I chose my words. That's all I'm saying. But we wish Whoopi the best. Her apologies seem very sympathetic. Very apologetic to me and sincere. So, wishing her the best. But I hope the nation and people in general and television anchors and all journalists or whoever just taking heed that when it comes to stuff like Holocaust and slavery and, things like that, be careful for the words that you choose, because it was nothing but racism in all of it and nothing but hatred in all of it. And
still is
all of it. It still is in all of it. So we just got to be careful of how we choose our words with stuff like that, because it's painful and it hurts. And it hurts.
I feel like it's a double standard sometimes, though, because there's this standard for certain people and other standards for the other. Like Trump done way more than talk about a racist thing. He did everything. He's still in the office. They can't get rid of him. He thinks he can run for president. He's an insurrectionist. I just think about all the things where we rebuke, who we want, and that's why, if you notice, they only did it for 2 weeks, because they know they can't really get rid of Whoopi for that. You know what I mean?
She might be happy with the 2 weeks because she felt like she apologized. So it's like, for instance, like she said, like a child, for instance, like your child do something, you scold them and they give a pat on the backside, either one or the other. You understand what I'm saying? So I get where she's coming from with that. But like you said earlier, the little statement you made, like they have to put that in her, step back, go in your place, like, I don't want to say what you said.
And see, like, you got to watch how you say that. Everything is watch what you say. But see, sometimes it's about keeping it real. You know what I mean? And someone can feel
I know what you mean.
Someone can feel when someone's keeping it real and when they're just all out, just
Right, but
horrible
sometimes you
racist
got to
person.
keep it real in the real places behind the closed doors. Sometimes, because sometimes I mean, you can keep it real to a certain extent. Is how I feel. But some things you got to keep it real with the people that you key and kick it with, not nationally, because everybody's like they're not taking it as keeping it real. They're gonna take it as a what did she just say? You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like
Donald Trump.
that's why everything's the way it is now because everybody's so fake. You
Okay,
know,
Donald
like
Trump kept it real. I mean, he just
and they
real than that.
still keeping it real. He just said, and we get all over the place, me and you. He just said that if he were to become president again, he would release all of the Capitol rioters. He would pardon them all. Well, damn it, if that ain't something crazy to say, that means you said something like that, a whoopee, she wouldn't
Oh,
forget 2 weeks. She would have no more show.
Honey, if we would have went to the what was that, the Capitol building? Like, in other words, he told them now, March, I'm going with y'all. We ain't see him nowhere though. We would have been dead on arrival, honey.
If we would have just said 3 words, we gonna walk down. We gonna walk down. That's all we would have had to say, and they would have been waiting there for us.
We have been shooting us as we can. It's not funny though, but that's keeping it real. Because that's exactly what would have happened, and it's just a shame, but unfortunately, that's just exactly what would have happened. Yeah, you said like we're a little bit all over the place because that's what let's talk about. That's what it's about. We're just a little bit all about to talk about community stuff and so on and so forth. And then I'm gonna go to the 22 just things that happened within the past 2 weeks in America and the United States, within the 5 boroughs or whatever, states or what have you. The 22-year-old police officer that was murdered. That took me 2 steps back as well. I was so
really.
I cried. And then I lived right down the block from the big fire. I cried. That whole week, April, I was just teary-eyed. I was scared to turn the news on. I was like, I don't even want to turn the news on because it's going to be something that's going to be so heartbreaking and devastating. But as far as the building is concerned on Tremont Avenue, the families that, were deceased there, that burned there, they died because they were cold. They had no heat and they had those little heaters or whatever the case may be. And then the building, and then the family that it all started in their apartment, they all were all right, they survived. But what happened was they were fireproof doors. But when they ran out, they didn't close the doors, so the wind spread the fire. That's number 1. Number 2, those buildings are supposed to have, those high rises are supposed to have fire extinguishers in the hallways in the glass. They used to years ago when projects were first built, a high rise. I remember when my grandmother lived in the projects and she had like a fire extinguisher in the hallway. It was in a glass, whatever case of people. Then how we can be or people can be sometimes. Kids start breaking in, taking them and doing this and doing that, put them in the house. So I guess the owners or the city stopped putting them in there. And then they had an emergency like this. Wasn't a fire extinguisher around. I have one in my kitchen. I keep one in it. Wasn't a fire extinguisher around or nothing. So the fire just spread. But it was just an unfortunate thing that they died because it was cold and just the poverty. And then with this COVID situation, things are going up so sky high. Everything is getting inflating. It's like the inflation.
Oh my goodness.
Ridiculous. So it's hard. But my prayers still go out to the families and the survivors and the non-survivors, and God bless their souls.
It was a lot of them were Muslim like me. I was so devastated. It was like my own brothers and sisters passed away. I really, really was so hurt. Still I'm hurt just talking about it. It's just horrible.
It was very horrible. I was like, wow.
But a lot of people, I mean, this is when I knew that life was just a little bit better. Did you see the Jews there that day? The Hasidic Jews were there when they were all congregating. And I thought, this is it. Now this is what's up right here. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Everybody just came together and helped them bury all those people. Cardi B, you heard the whole Cardi B thing. And I thought now that was
as well. Yes, Fat Joe came out as well. It was a unity. It's a sad because of the occasion, but the way we unified together, the way everyone got together was just amazing. Then I cried again with that, but joyful tears.
Right. Yeah, man. It was just really really overwhelmingly beautiful, and how the city came together. And that's one thing I like about, Eric Adams too. He's a bringer together of people. You know what
Yes,
I'm
he
saying?
is.
Like
Very
he's his
family.
force really played a lot in that too. You know what I
Yes, it
mean?
did. Yes, it did. And another thing about Eric Adams, he keeps it real.
Yes, he
He
do.
does. He keeps it real. He
And
really does.
sometimes we really do got to be real because like a lot of the world is ran off a facade. You know,
True.
uh, a lot of people are perfect. You know,
True. True.
so like they was talking about Bill De Blasio when he was in there, he hardly ain't even did nothing he was supposed to do. But I think this Eric came right in through the door. He's not joking. I mean, I seen him like in the first, second week. He had all these young boys going out of the projects that was terrorizing the projects, all these little
Yes.
gun gangsters taking the guns off the street. Like I really like him.
Yes.
I have faith in him.
Yes, I do. I do too. I do as well. And yeah, they have to get these guns off the street because these kids are running around here and no more fighting. They just pull out. Oh, what you say? What bang? They just pull out guns. Like it's terrible and killing each other. And it's just crazy. Like you're killing your own brothers and sisters, and it's crazy. And now, and I believe too, because with the COVID situation, they don't have no more beacon programs and basketball programs, after school programs. Kids don't have nothing to do. So the gang's out there saying, well, you got something to do, come and join this gang. You understand what I'm saying? So I hopefully, another thing with this COVID pandemic, hopefully with the COVID pandemic, hopefully it really dies down. Well, wait a minute. It really does, so they can open up the community centers again for the kids and have the basketball there for them. And then, the after school activities, things that keep them off the street. Because with
Stuff that we used to have when we were young.
right, and stuff that we just had a couple of years ago before the COVID started. They had something at St. James up on Kingsbridge after school, so Mashula Parkway, Mashula, basketball dance. My grandma was going there to dance and basketball. Tyreek took basketball there all his life. That's when he was a child. All of that was shut down because of the COVID. Now I want to know about this new thing that's out, the Omnicus. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
The Omicron.
Yes.
That's the strand I think that I had. You know what I mean? Because usually when people like get that full-fledged COVID, you can't breathe, man. Or you're wheezing. But I never had the wheezing part. I didn't.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about the Omicron.
The Omicron was more like a really bad flu.
Okay.
And what was weird about it is when I got to the very end of it, which I never been sick that long, almost a month, kid.
Wow.
I kept going.
Wow.
Like I would have phlegm, and it wasn't yellow or green, but it was white, but it still remained.
Like it was stuck in your throat.
Stayed on my throat.
Ooh.
Stayed on my throat. I had to constantly, and that went on for about 2 weeks, honestly.
Wow.
And but yeah, I had mostly headaches and chills. I never had chills like that, not even with the flu.
Wow.
The chills were really bad. And
Wow.
yeah, I think that Omicron was really more, and that's why it was spreading so fast. It was spreading like COVID spread fast. We heard the ambulance every 5 minutes.
Doing like some light years and stuff like it. Yes. It was spreading like fast. I woke up, went to bed one night, woke up the next morning, and it was like, oh, Omicron is out. It was all over the New York City, the Tri-Borough State. I was like, what? Oh, God. It traveled fast. Yes, it did. Okay, with that being said.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about was the fear. The fear that I feel like our ancestors have felt. Like we have lived now to fear what our ancestors felt in slavery, or what those Jews felt like when they were going off to the oven. Because I remember when COVID first started,
right?
We were hearing the ambulances. The ambulances was moving 100 miles an hour. I was so scared out of my mind. I was scared. And I had this one N95 mask, and I had got it from somewhere. And this is before like COVID had even like really, really started. And girl, I wore that mask till the strings fell off. You hear me? And I did not get sick. And the fear that the only thing I can identify with COVID is like that fear that I felt, in my heart every day, and surrendering and humilifying to Allah, because I just couldn't believe, and it was the only time in my life that I really could identify
Yeah.
without reading a book about what happened to us, how fearful that our people were and what
Yeah.
they suffered through, because this is our slavery, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And our fear, like of being lynched or whatever they felt. Like we have had to look at, we could die tomorrow. We could get COVID and die.
Yes, yes. I did a lot of praying, a lot of praying, a lot of praying. And then you know something, I still feared, but I'm the type, once I give it to God, I let it go because I'm not gonna doubt him. So I did a lot of praying, gave it to God, and I just did a lot of universal precautions. Just, I'm the type of person, not hate to say it, but I've always been the type of person, whereas what's gonna happen anyway. But my thing is, I'm not gonna just put it out there. If I can prevent and do things to kind of like sidetrack it or whatever, I'm gonna do that as well. But it's a horrible thing living with COVID, living with that COVID being our new norm, and here in the United States of America, a lot of things have changed. Things will never be the same, and like you said, the kids can't play like they used to. It can't, it's just a lot of stuff is just changed. It has.
Yo, listen, even when somebody, I could be anywhere and you could, I'm like, take that course over there. You can have a mask on. I'm ready to jump out the window, even if you got on a mask now. You can go over there.
Oh my God.
So that's been a real.
No, I get it. I got a lot of friends, girl. They finally just started coming out their apartments and their homes. Like this thing, it was serious. There's a lot of paranoia, a lot of phobias with it, a lot of anxiety with it, a lot of mental illness with the people that, it brought mental illness up amongst a lots of people too, which is another thing in this country, the mental illness. Since COVID has come, a lot of mental illness has been surfacing. A lot. Like it put our country in a turmoil. It turned the country upside down. And people,
I feel like a lot of people are going to have PTSD with this. PTSD, forgive me, PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD. Probably so. Probably so. And this is nothing but another thing that's been from history played that was out in the 13th and 14th and 15th centuries when the kings used to lock up in their chambers and the pulpits and the people outside there. Everybody was, go off and lock up in separate rooms or whatever the case may be. Things just surface over centuries and over the years. When the big good man upstairs get upset, you know what I'm saying? I believe that as well. And he's saying, be still. Because sometimes we be down here doing too much.
Too much.
Trump was down here doing too much. So, I mean, whatever had to be done to stop certain things was what took place. And he's not going to give us too much more than we can bear. It too shall pass. And I feel sorry for those who have gained their wings behind it. My mother's, passed due to the circumstances of it as well, with her complications of her dementia. And I've learned to live with it. It's been 2 years now. It's not an easy thing, but I'll see her, when I get there. I love her and I miss her. And, no more pain and struggling because it took a toll on her as well. So now it's about, mask and living with COVID as the norm now because it's not going anywhere. As far as, I'm saying like go away with, but it's going to be a part of the flu, part of the, the diseases and viruses that we have out here, communicable.
I feel like, when you see people too, like, that are, against wearing the mask, I think they're really crazy, because a mask can really save you, really seriously. Right. And when you see people really fighting against the mask when you're going into a store, they're just acting ignorant, or they're just acting ignorant on a political reason, for political reasons. It's right. It's just so crazy,
They're attention seekers, or they really had a thing for not wearing this mask. Well, some will say they got asthma, they can't breathe. Okay, well, do the best you can. Put it on when you're around the people, and then when you go in the aisle by yourself, take it down. Maneuver it. But some people are just outright on planes and like, I'm not wearing no mask, messing up everybody else's flight or slowing down the flight or whatever the case is because you want to get on there and act like a fool, like you said, and don't want to wear a mask. And now they got to get security and everybody else in the world to get you off the plane so the plane can take off. I mean, I don't understand why they're against wearing the mask as well. I think that's a little kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man, for sure. Ignorant. It's ignorant.
Very,
What it is it's ignorant. And
yes.
I mean, it's a simple mask, man. It's not like, they're asking. And half the time now, people are not really making you get vaccinated. There's still billions of people who aren't vaccinated. So if the mask is just the simplest thing that you can do it.
I say the same thing. And I just want to protect myself and my family and my loved ones. So I wear the mask. I mean, and if they say you don't have to anymore, I'm still going to always wear a mask now inside places. As long as I'm still alive, I don't care if I'm going to Macy's, Saks, Bloomingdale's, Stop and Shop, Costco's, I'm putting the mask on.
Yeah, man. And like the biggest thing is people who are not wanting the kids. Kids are the most, I don't want to call them dirty, but they don't have great germ hygiene. So they're the easiest to give you,
Yeah.
COVID because they don't have hygiene like that. And so I feel like, why are these people arguing about kids wearing masks at school? They're the main ones who should wear a mask.
Yes, I'm training Jordan to wear a mask. It's not easy,
God.
but wear a mask. Please wear a mask. If you come by me, wear a mask. Because if you don't have a mask, I'm gonna be like, don't come over here without that mask on.
And like I said, no joke, man. When you can have a mask on, and I'll be like on the line, and you go, I'll look at you like, now you need to cough over there, right? Cough over there.
But you see, April, that's another thing too now. We still have things like the common cold and allergies, but now everything is just underneath COVID.
Yeah.
So you're not the only one. Everything is just COVID. Now, like you can't even have a cold. You can't have the flu. You can't have, I sneezed the other day. I have allergies. I suffer with sinuses. And the lady looked at me as if I was trying to stick a knife in her stomach. I was like, I sneezed. I have on a mask. Like, I have allergies. She said, sure you do. Yeah. I'm like, oh.
That's so funny because the party will be definitely over if you sneeze around me or cough. Party's over. Pack it up. I'll do an open Winfrey on you.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, people still have the common everyday other things before COVID came up. But everybody's just so hung up on the COVID thing, like it's just HIV. Like you can't even be HIV positive. You have to be full blown. If you lose weight, it ain't cancer no more. It's not sugar. It's nothing. You just got AIDS. Like once something comes out, we just stigmatize it. This country just goes like, now that's the thing. I don't care what you got, but you got that. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I can kind of listen to the cough, and if it sounds a little suspicious, I'm like, okay. But if it's like a little, like maybe a little rusty throat or something.
Like it really has put people into the crazy zone, though, for real. Like,
yes, paranoid zone, crazy zone.
People be fighting. I mean, literally fighting, girl, thugging it out.
They be like, I'm social distance plays. Like, yeah. And I get the social distance thing because if there's 3 chairs there and I'm sitting in this one, the middle one is empty, you sit in the next one, don't sit next to me. I'm just saying, leave that one empty.
Me too, please.
I find that to be a little lunatic, a little crazy.
I have a cousin, she's 60 years old.
Wait, say that again?
I was saying, I have a cousin, she's 60 years old, she lives in Harlem.
Right.
And she does not come out of her apartment. She's not playing. She has everything coming from Instacart and, anywhere where you can shop online. That's what she does. The only time she may come out of her house if she has to go to the doctor. And she got like on triple mask. But for real, and she hasn't gotten.
Some people really take it like that. Some people take it, I'm telling you, this thing was deep, like literally deep. Some people take it to whereas they don't even want to come out. Like you said, I had a couple of friends that just started coming out a little bit, but they take it, it's something else. It was a shock to the country.
It's so, it's so scary because, there's that parable in the Bible, yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I should fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me, that is so real, you know what I'm saying? Especially for those of us who have had to come out into society, and deal. And I'm one of those people. Since COVID, I never sat down. I never was able to, sit down and didn't have to go work. And I had to go. I've been out there like in the battle zone, and it's really, really scary.
Yeah. Oh, with me, okay, when it first came out, we had to do the, stay in the home, whatever. I did that. I did the Amazon shop like your sister. And then after the city started opening back up, I started opening back up with the city, using my mask, going places, doing things, going to restaurants and Camelback resorts and Atlantic cities and all of that. And the good thing about it is everybody, some people are like, y'all, you guys and y'all parents don't want to go nowhere. So it's like, I own the place, I have it all to myself. It's like me and another 2 or 3 families. So that's like a beautiful feeling.
Right.
Woo, that's an awesome.
And you know, I know that's the truth, right?
Yes.
You know, I know.
Yes, yes. And, but the sad thing about it is, you know, people are like, oh, you going out there, you know, you got to hear the feedback, which I don't really pay attention to what people say because they talked about Jesus Christ.
Right.
But they, you know, kind of make you feel like, oh, and I say to myself, you know what? Well, I say my prayers and I have the whole place to myself. I'm happy about this. Like me and my family have the whole place to ourselves. And also, like, you got to open, like, you got to go on, like, life has to go on. I understand you don't want to come out your house, sweetheart, but you got to eventually. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it depends on how old you are. Like, if you're saying to old, you know what I mean. But I just felt like I just moved right along with society. And like I said, with my mask and stuff like that. But I opened back up with the city. And then when they closed back down again, because it got a little crazy, I closed back down again with it. Then when they opened up again, I opened up again with it. And like I said, I've been fine. All glory to God. But I'm just like the type that, you know, life is short and I kind of want to live every day like it's my last day because I don't know what day it's going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, you know, you lives it up. So, you know, I'm a witness, you know, to that.
So do you. Thank you. Thank you.
You know,
Thank
and so, you know, yeah, you got to live your life, you know, and that's another thing, you know, we have to live our life. And there's just something that's going on right now in our society where I just really think that, you know, it just feels like they're trying to put us in some type of dictatorship of a world right now in America, you know, and it's really scary. It's scary.
Right. I don't think this country could ever go dictatorship. I mean, Donald
me, I think we're going to fight to the bitter end, but it's a little scary what's going on. And that's another, we're going to have another topic on that.
Another topic. Well, our next topic, it's going to be a little sex in your 50s.
I have nothing to contribute to that conversation.
Well, then this should be a good one.
But I'll listen a whole lot, and I can talk about, you know, just being a healthy over 55-year-old.
Yeah, okay.
And what I do, but I can't talk too much about sex.
Right, we'll just mix it all up. You know, but I mean, it's just basically like if you still get your mojo, or if you have any mojo, you know, stuff like that. Or if it takes seeing a particular somebody that makes you get your mojo. But we'll save that for the next show. I also want to thank Alicia Patterson Rain for allowing us the opportunity to share our thoughts and have this conversing on the show. And you know, it's just a beautiful thing. As time goes on, you know, the topics will get more interesting. And what else? Just a beautiful thing. It's nothing like talking about what's going on around you and your surroundings and hearing your you know, thoughts and views. I was supposed to have Google actually email website for questions and, you know, whatever the case may be, or if I want to ask questions or anything. But for our next show, I'll have that. I'll have a Q&A. Like if anybody want to ask any questions, they can type in and so on and so forth. And we'll definitely answer them. No questions will never be left unanswered. So this is our first show, our very, very first show. So, you know, like bear with us. And this was very interesting for me. I had a good time. What about you, April?
Oh, awesome time. And I'm one of my favorite people. So, you know,
and
makes it all easier.
Oh, sis, I love you so much. And likewise, from the bottom.
Back at you.
From the bottom of my heart. And what else did I want to say? Yeah, so like I said, we knew each other for 50 years, over 50 years. We went to junior high school and elementary. Am I correct?
We went to elementary and junior high. No, we didn't go to elementary. We went to middle school. We went to middle school.
Middle school and junior, right? Middle school and junior high. And Alicia Patterson Rain, the owner of this television program, this television show, we went to music and art together. I don't want to say the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we went to high school together. Yes, we did. I'm not going to say the year because she's going to so I'm not going to say the year. But
nobody wants to talk about age.
But we age so gracefully. That's gonna be another topic for the show. Because I don't have a problem with being 55 years old.
Oh, me
I think I'm
either.
aging gracefully by the grace of God. And I'm happy that I got to live here this many years. Especially when
Right.
the world is going today. I'm happy to shout out how old I am because I'm making it. Every day,
Listen,
open
my
my
mom was
eyes.
gone at this age. Mhm.
Thank you. So I don't have a problem with. I love my age, and I'm accepting it gracefully. And I have another. Well, she's not a girlfriend, an associate that we chat sometimes, or whatever the case may be. And all these young girls, this and these young girls, and they walk around with this. And I remembered her when she was young, and I remember what she used to wear. So I'm like, okay, well, is it because you can't wear it anymore, or you forgot where you came from? I just want to know.
And you know, the other thing with that is you really just have, that's another thing, a great lesson in life. You got to let people be who they are. You got to let them wear what they
Thank
wear, be who they bees, and don't be trying to run nobody. Because, you know, I've learned the hard way, and I think you have to. You can't run nobody. You can't tell nobody what to
you.
do. But you can say, but for the grace of God, go our Lord, thank you, because that could be me. I'm over here
Amen.
today, and I thank you for the journey, you
Amen.
know, and the
Thank you.
growth,
And then
you know.
sometimes in life, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. You understand what I'm saying? If
True.
you don't have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. I look at the social network sometime and I see how people comment on other people's stuff, and sometimes they even make fun of their shoes. That was cute when you was in high school or junior high school, but you don't know that person's situation. You understand what I'm saying? So don't be putting their shoes on. Look what they got on. Look at they videotaping their shoes and stuff. I would turn around and say, "You gonna buy me some new ones?" Like people got to be careful of what they post to them,
That's true.
what they say, and like people are going through enough with this COVID situation. They don't need to add more stuff to their plate. They really don't. So just be mindful, people, of how you talk to people in today's society, because people are going through a lot. This COVID has brought back has escalated mental health issues out here. Um, you just got to be careful what you say because people are just snapping for no reason because they're just hurting. They're losing jobs. They don't want to go back to work because they're nervous. Go ahead, April.
You know, and speaking of like social media, you know, like there's some of these, you know, medians that they're getting on. Like I remember when TikTok started, it was for children.
Right.
Now all these grown folks is on TikTok. I mean, I watch the
Once
stuff.
in a while, I do it once in a while. Like yesterday it was raining, so I don't know if you remember this song by the Dramatics. I want to go outside in the rain. It may sound crazy. Remember the dances we used to do? How they used to do their little ah. Well, I did a little TikTok. I want to go outside in the rain. And then about a couple of months ago when it rained, I did It's Raining Man. Hallelujah, the Weather's Girl TikTok. So I play with it a little bit, but you got some grown people that are consistent with it. But then I have a girlfriend that does it every day as well, but she does it through ministry.
Listen, I'm not getting on it. I was only really just making a point that you were saying about social media, people saying
Right.
something, commenting.
Right.
But I just, you know, I was just piggybacking off that a bit just to say, I remember when that median started, and it was children. It was a thing called Vines and the TikTok.
Oh,
And it was just kids on there. And now you can get on Facebook and look in your feed, and all the TikToks are coming up, and they're doing everything on there. And I'm saying to myself, wait.
They got a lot of educational things on TikTok too, because I see one thing about me too is who I follow. Like on TikTok, I follow a lot of people that's into politics that talk about what's going on in the world and how they feel about what if I tell you some of the stories that I read or seen on TikTok about where COVID came from, you'll be like, well, what is going on? I'm not gonna repeat it.
No, I know.
Let's see it, go read that to people, not you. I'll tell you later. But anyway, yeah, and then sometimes with the TikTok, it'd be some nice recipes on there as well. Sometimes there's some really nice recipes on there. But I know you talk about the adults that be trying to act like they're 10 years old and they're 100. Sit down. I get you.
I mean, like all type of stuff. Like I just, and I'm just saying that I remember when that median was for children. And sometimes my son, I'll go, son, look what I'll show him something on Facebook, and he'll go, oh, that's for old heads. And I just turn around and look at him like, well, everybody's on Facebook. Why I gotta be an old head? But then I don't let that bother me because I'm aging gracefully. And so I shouldn't let, like
Thank
you just said a few minutes ago, it's not really that serious,
you.
but I'm just saying,
Look,
old heads, everybody's on
you better
Facebook.
hope
Everybody, y'all done took over TikTok.
and you better hope you get here to be an old head. That's right. You right. You right.
A OG.
Oh, right. Cool. I'm a OG.
I'm an OG too.
I'm an OG because I come back from it was at the 80s, baby. That was the years. What?
For real though.
Yes. All right. So actually we can end our segment. It was beautiful. And we'll see you guys next week. And like I said, we'll have the entry for questions and answers. Sorry I didn't have it this week. This is our first show. We just putting ourselves out here, guys, and we love whoever's watching this, and thank you for giving us the time of day. I'm Keisha Bailey.
I'm April Bailey, and I hope you guys, just tune in because we want to just have fun and keep it real every week.
Next week, we're going to make y'all laugh. And with that being said, Bailey and Bailey, we're not related through blood, but we're related through our hearts and through our sisterhood and through our loving God and all that other good stuff. We should have named the show Bailey Bailey. And
right?
Yes, something to think about. All right, good night.
But let's talk about it. It's perfect because we're going to talk about everything.
Yes, we are. So let's talk about it. Good night, everyone.